If you use these 5 tips I'm about to give you in this video, your TB results will improve drastically. Now, tip number 1 is to remod, guys. A lot of you are going to be very bored of hearing this. You probably hear it from me, you hear it from your guild leader, you hear it from your friends. Everyone is saying it. Remod for TB. We're not just talking move a few mods around, we're talking full account remods if you can, if you have the credits. And guys, looking at loads of accounts, talking to people in different guilds and my guild as well, I know that most people are sitting on a huge stockpile of credits. You have 100+ million credits, why not use them? Remod and instantly your results will improve. Now, for context, this TB I did not remod one of my teams, and I actually got a 0 out of 4. That is a team that I normally would have gone 4 out of 4, and I'm not going to tell you what team it was, but just know, guys, that if you don't remod, the chance of success is lower. Now, does it mean it's impossible to win? Absolutely not. For example, this Dash team right here, I did not remod, but for the most part, you do want to remod. It's just this team actually has good mods because I use them all the time. So that is the tip number 1, guys. Tip number 2, farm teams that work in territory battles. Now, what do I mean by this? I mean you need to farm 1 light side team, 1 Galactic Republic team, 1 Jedi team, and then maybe a bonus light side team just so you have extras. Now, teams that are good, if you want to see a video in depth on the light side teams, click the link in the top of the screen right now. But if you want to know some more general teams, we are talking about teams such as Smugglers. They are pretty good. CLS teams are very good. Rolo teams are very good. Clone teams, both Bad Batch and 501st, are very good. We are also talking about teams like Jedi Knight Revan. Although Jedi Knight Revan is a little bit harder to use, if you have General Skywalker or Jedi Knight Luke, it's a little bit easier. Jedi Knight Luke teams, Jedi Master Luke teams, Rey teams. As you can tell, guys, there is a lot of teams to pick from. And why do you need to farm these? Well, guys, when you're talking about TB, and if you actually want to help your guild out, and I know some of you are more focused on GAC or Territory War, but for those of you who are actually bothered about helping your guild in territory battles, you're going to want to have a team for each mission. Now, in Phase 1, we have a light side mission, a Jedi mission, a light side mission, and a Jedi mission. So, for that mission alone, you're going to want 2 Jedi teams and 2 light side teams. Now, as you progress, you're going to be including Galactic Republic there. Now, what I'd recommend you guys is start by doing 2 light side teams, 1 Jedi team, 1 Galactic Republic team. Eventually, you'll need 2 Jedi teams, but as your rosters progress and develop, you'll probably find out that you get the extra Jedi team through Galactic Republic. A lot of people farm JMK. JMK is very popular. If you're doing light side Geo, you're probably going to be at a position where you can get that. Sorry guys, when I'm recording this, someone just subscribed to me because it came through on my audio, so thank you to whoever that was. If you are in a guild that's doing light side Geo and at a decent level, we're not just talking Phase 1, we're talking maybe Phase 1, 2 and 3, potentially Phase 4, then you're likely going to be in a position where you can farm JMK or already have JMK. And when you're in that position, JMK becomes your 2nd Jedi team and your main Galactic Republic team. Now, guys, a lot of you are going to say, Glurmit, what about special missions? Oh my god, what about special missions? And I'm going to say stop. Don't even think about it. Now, what special missions do we even have? Well, we have the Acclaim mission, we have the Reek mission, so that's the Cam mission. We also have the Padme mission in Phase 1, and then we have the dreaded General Kenobi mission in Phase 2. A lot of these are very hard to do, and I'm going to tell you now, a lot of guilds aren't going to be requiring you to actually do well in these or even complete these. So for now, don't worry about them and focus on those light side teams, Galactic Republic teams, Jedi teams, and all of those that come with them. Now, tip number 3, guys, is farm teams which benefit in different areas of the game or have uses throughout TB in other areas. What do I mean by this, guys? Well, firstly, Shakti Clones is a fantastic light side TB team to farm because you're helping your guild. They are good in Territory War, they're good in GAC, they're also good in CPIT, and they're needed for the Cam mission. So farming them is a fantastic idea. What is another team that fits this criteria? Well, Bad Batch. They aren't as good in CPIT, but they are used for Cam. They are also used in other areas, and as you can see here, I'm using the 4 Bad Batch members, and I'm going to 4 out of 4, even bring a couple on. They're an insane team, really fun to use, and they benefit in different areas. Another team that is a good example of this is a CLS team. Now, whilst I know in the previous video I said CLS isn't the best 4 out of 4 team, it's because Grievous walls them. But for the most part they are very good, and they're needed in other areas of the game, so they're a fantastic farm. Now, when we talk about teams that maybe aren't the most efficient to farm here, we're talking about teams like, I hate to say it, Smugglers. Well, Smugglers may be a fantastic team in lots of Geo and other areas of the game. They just don't have the weight or the pull that teams like Bad Batch or Shaq-T clones have. So farming them, just understand that you're not helping yourself out in the wider aspects of the game. That's the most important thing, and a very good tip for you guys to take into account. The next tip we're going to have here is make sure you fill your platoons, guys. You're helping your guild out a lot. If you don't fill platoons, all of a sudden the missions become 10 times harder. And I mean it, guys. If you don't do platoons, you're probably going to fail. If you do platoons, you'll probably be okay. For context, a while ago in one of the guilds I was in, I was doing TB. And we was meant to preload a phase, and someone got the star, which meant that we hadn't done platoons because we were saving them for the next day. So we got into the next phase, and I took in Galactic Legendary. And you guys will know from the previous video I put out that they're actually really good in TB. And anyway, what happened? Well, I didn't take a turn. So doing platoons is so important, and it's a big thing you need to do for your guild. And this leads us to the final tip to do well in territory battles, and that is to know the mechanics and the kits. I know, guys, you're probably really bored now. You're like, oh, Glurmit, what are you talking about? How do I learn this? I'm supposed to be playing Swagger, I'm not supposed to be doing like educational stuff. And I'm going to tell you right now, you can learn all the kits very easily. There's so many characters in territory battles who are, you know, they're unique to the mode. For example, these commando droids you're seeing here. We're also talking about the B2s, the B1s. They all work a little bit differently in these modes, and knowing their kits is so important. The biggest example of this is the Reek mission. You know, the mission that is for Cam. So many people do not look at the kit and they go in blind. And guys, whilst in the rest of the game everything is, you know, on the same path, it's all the same, as soon as you get into TB, you need to know the kits. So, what's the easiest way to do this? Well, you just go to the main homepage of the game, go into territory battles, scroll down, and you can look at the details. This will tell you exactly what you're up against, it will tell you the moves they can use, and I'm not saying you have to study this, I'm just saying refresh yourself before you go into these, because it does help a lot. For example, you may not know that Kalani prevents droids from losing more than one stack in a single turn. And if you didn't know that, you're going to go in, you're going to be spending 10 years attacking those B1s, you're like, why are the B1s not dying? Just read the kits, guys, it will help you out so much. Territory battles are hard, guys. They're not easy to do, they take a lot of time, they take some practice, but with these tips, hopefully you can turn those 0 out of 4s into 4 out of 4s. I hope you'll have a glowing day.